A one, two, three, and what's your favorite scary movie? Is it creepy? Is it groovy? Mashor! Hello again, everyone. I missed you. Happy November. I can't believe it. Our Halloween spooky season is officially come to a close, and everybody that loves their pumpkin spices and Christmas have politely asked us to stop talking for the next 2 months, but we won't because we are 365 hardcore fans, and I'm here to give you that little slice of heaven during your Thanksgiving week, which I know you are all looking forward to. Um, give a little shout. I actually don't remember where I found this recipe, but for the with the holidays coming up, I really had to save money because we're trying to figure out where what presents essentially for everybody. So I thought, let's figure out what I can make with stuff that's here. And I got dry ice for my work, so that's really cool. So I made a, can you hear it? It's bubbling. It's like a little cauldron. So it's a spooky butter beer. So it's like a Harry Potter witch's brew, which I'm so excited about. I'm a little nervous. I don't, I don't, oh, it's so cool. It's like boop, boop, boop. I don't really want to drink it in the dry ice mode. I think it's just cool aesthetically. I'm a little scared. So I'm just gonna, you know, sage the place and safely put it down. Another shout I wanted to give out to is over there. Do you see? I got a ghost face. Whee! So, oh my God, that was embarrassing. Okay, so I got ghost face. I've been wanting, I haven't gotten a figure in a while, and I'm really excited. I've wanted to add ghost face to the party. And so I want to give a shout to the Alex Vincent for kind of selling his, or, his own collection, and he's also an illustrator who does, so what he's been doing is he'll make fake covers of like Goosebumps and Stephen King, and so he like made a Goosebumps, like if Goosebumps wrote Midsommar, so it's a cover of that. It's really cool. So it took me a while, and it took me a few times to record this because there aren't a lot of Thanksgiving horror movies. I don't know why. I think this is a perfect holiday to make a horror movie about. Maybe because, with Christmas you have Krampus, and if it's like that whole premise that scares kids of like, if you're naughty, you're not going to get anything, and Krampus is going to come, and blah, blah, blah. So there is something like kind of creepy, scary behind Christmas if you're not a nice kid, you know? But still, I just think it's as like an actual story, truly horrific. I mean, we saw, we plagued, and we just forget. It's kind of traumatic. Yeah, so you'd think that there'd be more, but there's really only about five. And I will say, I was excited for one that I saw on Hulu that came out last year, Pilgrims. And I watched it anticipating to talk about it, which I am, go figure. But I might be wrong on this because I'm in a horror group forum and they all like it. So, I mean, granted, there was maybe 5 people who responded to it, and that's kind of low for conversations on that. But maybe, I don't know, it's weird. So, anyways, I was the only one who said I was disappointed by the film. Everybody else, the 5 other people, seem to like it. So maybe, if it's not skewed, maybe I am. Maybe it just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of boring. Kind of like, what did I watch? Why did I watch it? Which I hate that feeling. So maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that's kind of my didn't care for. However, I did pick two. And the two I picked, one is more of a family classic. So if you have kids and can't get away from them, this is a good one to watch. And then those of you that stay up late, don't have kids, ready to go, I got an 80s classic slasher for you, which I'm excited for. So the first one, of course, is Addams Family Values, and then the second one is Blood Rage. So for Addams Family Values, it's weird. I like the first one, but I love the second one. I think the sequel is a lot stronger. I don't know. It's just one of the few times I really like the sequel. I think it's because like Christina Ricci is older, and I think they're all more comfortable in their roles. So it's just a lot more fun, and I really just love the storyline more. Joan Cusack gets introduced as the kind of crazy villain, and I don't know about you guys, but every time I see Joan Cusack, I'm always like, man, she reminds me so much of John Cusack. And then vice versa. When I see John Cusack, I'm like, man, he reminds me, they just look so much alike. You know, he reminds me so much of Joan Cusack, and the vicious cycle goes on forever in the Cusacks. But she does a great job. And of course, she's a really strong actor, and so is John Cusack. So kudos to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Kudos. Take it down. And, you know, I've rewatched this so many times, so I kind of did an IMDb deep dive and just seeing, like, where are the actors now, you know? Raul Julia, who is Gomez Addams, the dad, unfortunately passed away pretty much after this movie was filmed. I don't know if it was immediately after. I think it was in the same year, so it might have been his last movie. He died of stomach cancer, and I thought that was really sad. I'm glad he did one of the unique things like Black Panther did. He didn't announce that he had it, so he just kept working until he couldn't. And then he passed away. So that was something really sad. And of course, you have my girl Mercedes McNabb, who I'm a big Buffy fan. And then I also found out Lurch, the guy who plays Lurch, Carol Stroiken, he is, if you guys have ever seen it came out a few years ago with Carla Gugino, one of my favorite actresses of all time. Gerald's Game, the Stephen King adaptation. He is the creepy guy. As like an actor, he just is that tall, creepy figure, and he just plays it so well, and he just kind of owns it in all of these movies. So, good for you, man. It's just so kooky. And then Peter MacNicol, who's Gary, one of the camp counselors, and I think they're just the most fun part of this whole movie, you know, when they send off the kids to sleepaway camp. He's in Ghostbusters 2. Again, my favorite of the franchise. I think Ghostbusters 2 is just such an amazing storyline. And so he's in my two favorite movies of a franchise that happen to be sequels. So good for you, Peter, aka Gary, the camp counselor. And of course, the reason I bring up Addams Family Values for a Thanksgiving episode is that it's just perfect vengeance for Thanksgiving. You know, because they cast everybody. They say, we'll do the first Thanksgiving and it'll be a play. And so Harmony, or I'm sorry, I guess she's a Girl Scout, Mercedes' character, she's a pilgrim, you know, the lead pilgrim, and then they pick Wednesday Addams to be Pocahontas. And it's just carnage ensues, of course, because Wednesday is just taking charge, and she burns down the village and says, we're not sitting down with you. It's amazing. So 2 thumbs up for Addams Family Values, and it's just a good movie to, you know, really wind down after spending time with your family. You can spend time with a family that loves each other to death, you know? Oh my God, I'm such a dad joke person. Okay, moving on to a new one for me, which was Blood Rage. And I only found out about this, you know, through researching of what movies can I watch for Thanksgiving. So I watched it recently, and it was actually really good. Well, I say that. I just had low expectations going in after all of the bad movies I watched. So it is the best of the horror Thanksgiving movies, I'd say, next to Thanksgiving. But that's like its own genre of WTF. So Blood Rage is an 80s slasher. And essentially the premise is that these 2 identical twins have a single mom, and of course it's that trope of like the mom is way too possessive of the kids, specifically one, you know, the star child, and vice versa. And so it's a really toxic relationship, which causes what happens in the movie. So the mom tries to date, but weirdly brings the kids around all the time because she's just like super broken and insecure. And so she's like anytime she has physical contact with a guy, one of her sons goes crazy and starts killing people. It's, you know, total logic. So they're at a drive-in movie theater in the initial part of the movie, and the kid, the one son who goes crazy ends up killing somebody, and his brother is pretty docile and quiet. And I think he goes into a state of shock watching his brother kill somebody with an axe out of nowhere. And he basically puts blood on him because nobody sees and blames him for the murder. And so this poor kid gets sent away, and for something he didn't even do. He didn't kill anybody. And then, the movie fast forwards 10 years later, where the brother who actually did kill the person, totally fine and normal, playing football, getting a girlfriend, all that, forgets his brother even exists, and blood rage of the son who kills everybody ensues at Thanksgiving dinner 10 years later. So they're at dinner, and she says that she's going to get married to this new guy, and he loses his mind. And of course, at that same time, his brother escapes the institution. And he says, what a perfect thing. My brother escaped and he's out loose somewhere. I'm going to go on a killing spree because my mom is dating someone and she can't. There's really no explanation as to why, but she just can't. So I'm going to just murder people. So he just starts murdering everybody around. And, everybody thinks it's the brother who was locked away. And it's just awesome. There's, it clicks off everything. Then the Joe Bob Briggs, list of things you need for a horror movie. It has nudity. You've got blood. You've got constant killing. And I can't dislike a movie with one of the Raimi brothers. So Ted Raimi, aka Sam Raimi's brother, aka Evil Dead, all up over there. He is a condom salesperson in the beginning of the movie. It's like a blip. If you didn't know him, you wouldn't catch it. But I was like, that's Ted Raimi. And, I did a deep dive, of course, in this movie. And so the mom, the actress, is Louise Lasser, who I found out through this, was married to Woody Allen right before he married his adoptive daughter. That's cool. So she was a prominent actress in her day. I mean, she is creepy in this role. She is like super psycho mom, of just out there, and it's just she did a really good job. And then watching the movie, the locations just look so familiar, and as a Floridian, you just know when they're in the Everglades. And I was like, that honestly, there's just like these bridges and they're in the Everglades, and I was just like, that looks like UCF. And it turns out it was actually Jacksonville. So the girl who produced the movie, Marianne Cantor, she found the location in Jacksonville, and it was actually filmed, a lot of those parts, at University of Northern Florida. So that was really cool to find out. And also, in looking that up, I found out that she was not intending to act in this. She ends up being the therapist in the movie, because the actress dropped out last minute, unannounced and, without explanation. So she kind of took over. And this poor producer, not only does she have to act, and you can kind of tell now that I told you, if you do end up watching it, she's just like really rigid in the role. I think because it was just that last minute of like, oh, I have to act now in a movie that I'm spending money on. So it's going to happen and I'm going to have to act. Another thing I found out was that Louise Lasser and the director, John Grissmer, did not get along, to the point where Grissmer just quit the movie halfway through. And he's just like, I'm done. I'm not directing anymore. So this poor producer, now actress, Cantor, has to go to Grissmer and beg him to come back to finish the movie. So there's just a lot of, background drama. And you can kind of, there's no way to tell the movie. And it does drag on a bit in the movie. I fast forward to in certain parts, but overall, I'd say definitely the strongest movie we have for Thanksgiving. Next month is going to be a lot more fun, and that'll be cool. So yeah, I hope you all stay safe and enjoy your time either with your family or not with your family, whatever you're up to. If you eat turkey, if you eat a tofurkey. All right, that's my time. I'll talk to you later. No. Thank you so much again, and have a great night.